SmackDown was taped this Monday after Raw in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The reason it was taped is due to the show airing on July 4th, which is a holiday in the United States. So we had the tape show, and this also happened to be the first official 2-hour SmackDown. The first time SmackDown's been 2 hours all year. And hopefully this is permanent. Maybe next year around WrestleMania season they go back to being 3. I hope not, but hopefully we get a 2-hour SmackDown for the time being, at least. The 3 hours is just too much. It's too much wrestling every week for me. I'm really happy it's 2 hours. But there is a complaint. There's a valid complaint I've been seeing on the internet, and we felt it this week, and I'll talk about it in one of the matches later. But I am still happy we have 2 hours instead of 3. So the show opened with a segment that I don't believe was aired in front of the crowd. We saw Jacob Fatu attacking Solo Sikoa and the Bloodline in their vehicle. It was kind of funny because Solo was like halfway out the window and he can't fit through it because he's so big. Security had to stop him. Nick Aldis tries to talk him out of it. But that's how the show started, and that would be the main event of the show with Solo going up against the Bloodline. So in the arena, the 2025 King of the Ring, Cody Rhodes, is out. And immediately we have the graphic for SummerSlam, which is Cody Rhodes against John Cena. I have to say, I really like the New York themed graphic. I think it looks really nice. And it's also interesting because SummerSlam's, it's New Jersey, not New York. Every time they do a show in that stadium at MetLife, East Rutherford, New Jersey, they want you to think they're in New York, but they're really in New Jersey. But this is, I think, how many SummerSlams now have taken place either in New York or New Jersey? It's almost a third of them, really, because so many have taken place in that part of the country. So, I think it's almost 12 SummerSlams or something now have taken place just between those two states. It's really incredible. Now, Cody was holding the King's Crown. He doesn't put it on. I think Gunther did the same thing last year. Cody actually gave a shout-out to a kid named Cam who was battling leukemia. He mentioned him. He got a decent pop from the crowd. Fans cheered for Cam. That was a nice moment. Cody's then interrupted by Randy Orton. Orton admitted that he hesitated to punt Cody, and Cody took advantage. He pulled the trigger. He respects that. Randy makes Cody promise him that he will defeat John Cena at SummerSlam. So I thought clearly they're setting up the stage for a long-term rivalry between the two. Drew McIntyre makes a surprise return. He mocks them, and then he does his best to pit them against each other. He brings up Randy's surgically repaired back. He says that he wants to beat Cody for the title and wants Cody to defeat John Cena. Drew turns around, then he eats an RKO from Randy. Randy and Cody do a stare down. As I said, I think they're clearly doing a rivalry post SummerSlam, but the focus right now is Cody challenging John Cena and Randy Orton, who is now facing Drew McIntyre. Backstage, Charlotte Flair is talking to Nick Aldis. He says she's in a number one contender match against the Secret Hervis and B-Fab and Mishin. Charlotte wants to face Tiffy. Tiffy had the chance to choose her opponent just like Io did. And then Alexa Bliss appears on screen, and it's revealed that she is going to be Charlotte's tag team partner. Charlotte is reluctant at first, but eventually Alexa talks her into it, and Charlotte agrees to team with Alexa Bliss. And it's kind of funny in the segment because she keeps referring to Alexa as Lexi, which is her real name. Lexi Kaufman, I believe that's her full name. But Charlotte kept calling her Lexi. No one calls her Lexi on this show. I just thought that was kind of funny. But they're going to be a team now. I was hoping they would feud. I was looking forward to actually seeing Alexa maybe finally defeat Charlotte at Evolution. Charlotte's the only member of the Four Horsewomen who Alexa hasn't defeated before. I think that would have been a decent match, at least. A good opener, Charlotte and Alexa, but they're going to be a team instead. Secret Hervis is out next. They're accompanied by Chelsea Green, who I don't know, is she even clear? Chelsea used to be one of them. She used to be a cornerstone of SmackDown, one of the most prominently featured acts. Now she's doing nothing. Again, I don't know if her nose is fully healed after Zelina broke at that last Saturday night's main event. Backstage, Drew McIntyre is talking to Nick Aldis. Drew gets a match with Randy at Saturday night's main event in Atlanta next week. And I really like Drew's bored at work shirt. It's that classic tweet he sent out at last year's WrestleMania, bored at work. And then he sent another tweet out that this year at WrestleMania, still bored at work. What's the tweet next year's WrestleMania going to be? I'm still bored at work. I don't know what it's going to be. I'm more interested in that. But I do like the bored at work shirt. So Jacob Fatu comes face to face with Drew. Drew walks off, and then Aldis tells Jacob to find a partner. Then we see Jimmy Uso, and Fatu and Big Jim are going to team up tonight against two members of Solo's stable, which they don't call the Bloodline, by the way. Charlotte and Alexa Bliss make their entrances together, and then you have Alexa and Charlotte against Alba Fire and Piper Niven against B-Fab and Mishin, who were out before them after the commercial break. So the winners go to Evolution, and they will compete in a Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match. So this is for who's going to represent SmackDown. Champs are Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez. I am assuming, I don't know if the Bellas are going to get in. I think Asuka and Kyrie on Raw makes the most sense. I hope it's not the Bellas. And I'm not sure who it's going to be from NXT. That remains a mystery. But in this match, you had Mishin botching a suicide dive. I think her legs got cut up on the ropes. There was a whole bunch of dives to the outside from several of the participants in this match. By far and away, the most over person in this match, to the surprise of no one, is Alexa Bliss. Everyone loves Alexa Bliss. Speaking of which, Alexa got the win for her team. There was a moment where Charlotte hits a moonsault onto both Piper Niven and Mishin, who are on the mat, down in the ring. She hits a moonsault and hits them both. But as she was doing it, before she did it, she patted Alexa Bliss on the head, and that actually caused a tag. So Charlotte doesn't know what's happening, and then Alexa hit the Twisted Bliss onto both Piper and Alba, and then Alexa pinned Alba for the win. Charlotte hugged her after the match. They celebrated, and they are going to Evolution. We will see who wins that match. Backstage, Nick Aldis is with the Tag Team Division Street Profits, DIY, Johnny Gargano, and Tommaso Ciampa, Motor City Machine Guns, and Los Garza, where he announces that one member of each four teams is going to wrestle the Wyatt Six tonight in an 8-man tag, so each member of the tag division has representation. And then the Wyatt Six made their entrance. You had the Fireflies out in the crowd, like the tribute to Bray with a chair. So match was Wyatt Six against Berto, Johnny Gargano, Montez Ford, and Chris Sabin. Match went on for a while. I have to say, it's very difficult for the WWE to book the Wyatt Six. They're not Bray Wyatt. They're a good act, they have a cool entrance, but I mean, it's not Bray. They don't have his charisma. They don't have his star power. This is not Bray Wyatt. But it's difficult because they have to be booked as monsters, because once they lose once, their aura is gone. I mean, Bray Wyatt was badly damaged when he would lose. When he lost that match to John Cena at WrestleMania 30, I don't think he recovered for a while. He lost to The Undertaker the next year. He lost to Randy Orton twice at WrestleMania. It hurt Bray. It took him a while to get his his sense of invincibility, his aura, because he's such a dark character, and it's almost like, he's invincible. So once he loses, the aura is gone, and it took him a while to keep getting it back. Here, I mean, once they beat them, their mystique, or whatever you call it, it's gone. So it's hard to book them, and I don't think they see him as necessarily a major act, so it's going to be difficult. But I did enjoy this match. So at the end, Johnny Gargano refused to tag in Chris Sabin. Sabin was trying to tag in Gargano, by the way. Gargano just dropped off the apron because he was so afraid of the Wyatt Six. Eric Rowan pinned Chris Sabin after an Iron Claw chokeslam. Not just an Iron Claw slam. It looks like a chokeslam. Rowan got the win for his team, so the Wyatt Six win. After he won, Rowan immediately looked into the heavens after securing the pinfall, and all I thought was, he's probably thinking of his two good friends, Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper. So rest in peace, Bray. Rest in peace, Luke. Yeah. That moment hit me. I mean, he was very good friends with both of them. You definitely feel for Rowan in that moment. We got a Julia video promo after becoming the new Women's United States Champion. I'm not sure if she's going to wrestle at Evolution in a singles match. She didn't mention Evolution at all, so it leads me to believe she's not. And also, she will probably be on the show in that Battle Royal, so I think that's where she's going to be at. But they did have a video promo for her. She won the Women's U.S. title last week against Zelina Vega. Then you had Tiffany Stratton out next. She got a big pop from the Pittsburgh crowd. And then once they come back, they officially announce it's Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre at Saturday night's main event. We got the match card graphic for that, so it's on. Tiffany mentioned that she will face Jade at SummerSlam. She says she wants to defend her title at Evolution, and she's going to choose her opponent. Jade Cargill then interrupts her, and I guess Jade's doing the Queen gimmick because she is the 2025 Queen of the Ring. And she had it on her head at first, but then she was just holding it. I don't know. And when you look at her attire, it's almost like a Queen-style attire that she was wearing tonight. So I'm not sure if she's going to be Queen Jade, but maybe that's too heelish. But I wouldn't mind it. I think it gives her something else. I prefer Queen Jade than the stupid X-Men Storm gimmick. But Trish Stratus makes a surprise appearance. Tiffany reveals that she wants to defend against Trish. Trish accepts, and Trish went on for a while about Evolution and how hard they fought to get one match on the card and how big of a deal it is to have an all-woman show. It's the second time. They usually don't do this stuff as much when they talk about the one, but I guess Trish kind of had to do it. You know, I was thinking, did they really need to bring Trish back for this? But when I look at that division, so Alexa and Charlotte are a team, and Charlotte and Tiffany, we don't want to see that again. Alexa, Tiffany, you have two really popular baby faces. I don't know if it's the best for Tiffy. I mean, I think Alexa might be more over, maybe. Or maybe Tiffy's more over, I'm not sure. But that might not work. And then Naomi has the briefcase. Jade's going to SummerSlam. So I guess by default, and obviously the biggest issue is Bianca Belair is hurt. I think Bianca might be facing Tiffy at Evolution if she was healthy, but Bianca's out. So I just you need Trish. They don't want to do Chelsea Green. She's hurt too. Zelina Vega is not really over. Julia is the women's U.S. title. So, yeah, I can see it why they went with Trish. So, you know, it's fine. I mean, we know who's winning. Tiffany's going to go. Tiffy Jade's already confirmed for SummerSlam. So it's not like Tiffy was ever going to lose. So I don't mind it in a way. We got a Solo Sikoa video package. And this is a promo. He's a new U.S. champion. And Hikuleo is now officially Tala Tonga. We see Trish Stratus walking backstage. She sees Jade Cargill. And I'm thinking to myself, they just saw each other. They're making it like this is the first time they've interacted. What the hell happened? Like, there was something off. Something was off here. Why was this shot? They were just talking in the ring. And then Jade just said, yeah, I'll face either of you at SummerSlam. And she repeats it again to Trish. I'm thinking something was up. They messed up. This shouldn't have aired. And from behind, Naomi attacks Jade with her briefcase, and it's now a proceed with caution briefcase. So it's black with white lettering and has caution tape around it, and then she actually has real caution tape attached to the handle. So it's another themed briefcase. I guess that means Naomi's going to hold on to the briefcase for a while, just like it looks like Seth's going to hold it for a while. So yeah. But Jade was holding her head when she's down. She sees Aldis, and then she tells Aldis she's sick of Naomi, and they're going to have a match at Evolution. And then we had Fraxium taking on Andrade and Rey Fenix. They have a very good tag team match. I have to say the big issue. I have to say this about the 3-hour thing, that it's 2 hours now. This is an issue. So one of the big problems was sometimes tag matches would get a lot of time on a 3-hour show. Not always. There was times they wouldn't, but sometimes they would. 2 hours now, they're going to get a lot less time. So that's an issue. That's what I said at the beginning of my video. I've heard people complain about this online, and yeah, I can see it. The tag division on SmackDown is stacked. Now, when you only have 2 hours instead of 3, they're going to get less time and they're going to be featured less. That being said, there were still issues about them being featured anyways, so I'm not complaining too much about it. I mean, Fraxium had tag matches a lot early, but not lately, so it's really not a big deal, and I just prefer to trade off of it being 2 hours. But, I guess for every pro, there's going to be a con. I think the pros outweigh the cons here, but this is definitely a con in which, the tag division will have less time on the show. Now, this match was very good. They had a good match. The fans were into it. They got a "This is awesome" chant from what I assume was a very tired Pittsburgh crowd because they just saw a 2.5 hour Raw show, and this was late on the SmackDown show. So they're probably a little bit tired here, but they were into it. Andrade pinned Nathan Frazier for the win, and Andrade and Rey Fenix are now a tag team, it seems like. Backstage, Damian Priest confronts Aleister Black. Priest tries to explain R-Truth's side of things and says there was a match made next week between Truth and Black. Tensions start to boil over between both Damian Priest and Aleister Black. Aleister Black, who's married to Zelina Vega, by the way. There's rumors he's going to get a good push, or a big push soon. As for Damian Priest, I think everyone who's following social media knows the man's a lucky bastard, as he's reportedly dating Lola Vice. So I think everyone envies Damian Priest right now. Jacob Fatu was out next. The announcers then preview next week's show and Evolution, so Trish and Tiffy is official. And then Jade and Naomi is also official, and that's going to be a no-holds-barred match. Then we get the main event, Jacob Fatu and Jimmy Uso against Solo Sikoa and JC Mateo. Jacob pins Solo to win the match. Afterwards, Fatu attempts to put Solo through the announce table, but Hikuleo, now Tala Tonga, stops Fatu, gives him a chokeslam. Jimmy was taken out by, I believe, Tongaloa with the neckbreaker move. And then originally Solo was on the table, and Jacob was going to do the splash through the table from the top rope, but after Jacob got taken out by Talatanga, the Solo had his group do the triple power bomb, the Shield's triple power bomb, and they power bombed Jacob Fatu through the announce table. They pose over him, and that's how SmackDown ended tonight. The tape show that took place in Pittsburgh, so Pittsburgh has now hosted both a Raw and SmackDown, probably the first city to host both the shows this year. Of course, SmackDown was taped. Unique circumstances, but I think Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, I think is the first city to host both Raw and SmackDown this year. And this was the first official 2-hour SmackDown of the year. All I can say is I hope SmackDown remains 2 hours.